Jerquaden Guilford committed to Ohio State last night. We're going to take a look at him now. This is the fourth receiver to commit to Ohio State in this 26 class. Already have the two modern-day receivers, Caden Dixon-Wyatt, Chris Henry, committed. We watched them. They're up on my channel if you guys are interested. Ricketts, not too familiar with. I know he's a bit more of a slot receiver from what I read, but today we're going to focus on Jerquaden Guilford. 6'2.5", 190, Northrop and Fort Wayne, Indiana. I got to tell you one thing about Northrop. You know, I watch a lot of high school football, this being a recruiting channel. They have to have the ugliest midfield logo I've ever seen. Every time it comes up, I'm like, just. I used to think it was a gorilla. Apparently, it's a grizzly bear. So you'll see that in a little bit. I still think it looks more like an ape than it does a grizzly bear. But anyways, Jerquaden Guilford, what are you getting with him? I think Caden Dixon-Wyatt's a very good receiver. I think Chris Henry, very good receiver. I just don't think either of them have that 4.3, 4.4 speed. You know, I think that's just something that's lacking up until Jerquaden Guilford committed. You know, there's no Devin Smith in this 26 class. Nobody can consistently take off the top off the defense, and I think that's exactly what Jerquaden Guilford's going to walk into Columbus and bring. You take a look at the explosiveness here. He's already full tilt at 3 yards. You know, really good release. And it's not even just the release. Dude's just an explosive athlete, and then you see the top end take over once he gets the ball in the hand. I'm not sure if he's a track dude. I couldn't find a track number anywhere, but we'd be talking about sub 11, probably sub like 10.8, 10.7 with this dude. So definitely a dude that's going to walk in and be a very adept field stretcher day one. You know, that's really what he brings to the table. At 6'2.5", he has a bit of a longer frame. And that takes the ease. That just takes the burden off the quarterback so much that they don't have to be perfect on these deep balls. You know, bit of a bigger target when they're pushing the ball down the field. You know, you watch a lot of these 5'9", 5'10" receivers that, you know, they're certainly sub 4.4, 4.3 type players, but they just aren't good vertical threats. You know, they can run fast. They're just not good vertical threats because the quarterback almost has to be perfect and put the ball on the money, you know, 40, 50 yards down the field. Not the case with Guilford at 6'2.5". Really like that aspect of his game, but yeah, certainly a burner. Now, when I say that, am I trying to box him in? Am I trying to box him in and say he's never going to be anything a bit more of a field stretcher? No, I'm not saying that. I think Ohio State obviously is a very rich tradition of developing receivers as well as recruiting the top guys. You know, I think that day one, that's exactly what Jerquaden Guilford's going to bring, that elite top end speed, and then from there he's going to round out his game. You know, 6'2.5", really like that frame. You see some flashes of the route running. We'll see like a comeback route in 10, 20 seconds here coming up where I think you see the flashes of how good of a route runner this guy can be right here. Cover 3 here. This is a cover 3 beater, I think. Very, very sudden. You know, this corner doesn't have a chance. So football, part of it's running fast, right? Part of it's also stopping because you need that change of direction ability. You need that stop start. And I think you see some flashes of that with Jerquaden Guilford here. Don't see it. It's a very short highlight tape. We're not going to see a lot of him with the ball in his hand. I don't think it's on him, just nature of high school offense. Not something they prioritize, I suppose. But, yeah, from what I could tell and from the tape that we do have, just an elite top end, just an elite field stretcher. From there, the long-term questions are, you know, how does he kind of round out his game? And I think you see some flashes of him having the traits to turn into a well-rounded receiver. That's my opinion on him. But I think the skill set that he has is perfect when you're considering what Ohio State already has in this 26 class. So but y'all let me know what you think about Jerquaden Guilford. If there's anybody else in this 26 class you want me to get up on my channel, I already have a decent amount of Ohio State guys up. As always, you guys let me know what you think about him. If I missed the mark, if you think I was wrong about anything, let me know, and thanks for watching.